All right, let's talk about the timpani portion. So I think of all these etudes, the easiest one to read is this right here. 3/4 time. It's not formula, so there's not a ton of notes at once. Hallelujah. If you check out at the very beginning, I am notating some different things for you that I want you to realize. In this book, Jacques Delacroix did not write trills. He meant to write rolls, but he called them trills, which is not helpful when the other piece has trills that are real trills. So I went through and wrote roll onto all those stems where it says to trill, okay? It's just, for a long time, percussion notation was not kind of set in stone, so we have people writing really weird things. So those are rolls. I already added them onto the stems for you, okay? Notice I put in dampening things. There's spots where it's like, hey, you should definitely dampen, and then there's ones that are circled that it's like, hey, try for it, but if you can't, don't do it. Once you start learning this and you get up closer to tempo, if you realize I cannot dampen this thing, feel free to cross that out, get it out of the picture if it's something that's gonna mess with your head. But definitely need to dampen the things that you are seeing, okay? Notice I am drawing in your tuning for you. I'm letting you know exactly which drum needs to be switched and what pitch it is switching to. You need to start realizing in your tuning, are you tuning up a major interval? Are you like tuning up a whole step, a half step? These are actually all quite kind. I don't think any of them are absurdly far away. It's either a half step or a whole step away at all times. So you might want to write into yours like, hey, that went from G to A, in parentheses, that's up a whole step, right? Just so you can practice singing like do to re, or do, D, re, re, da, 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 thinking half steps, which is definitely something you want to start doing if you are not currently doing. If you do not sing and think like do, re, mi, fa, sol, and then start learning how to do the half steps in between them, you will not be a very good timpani tuner because you won't be able to hear them. So I would start playing stuff to myself on the bell kit and just trying to sing along. Go up the major scale and then start playing chromatic scales, and can you also sing that? The people that sing well, whether your voice sounds good, but the people who can actually think pitches and sing even if your voice sounds horrendous, those are the people that play timpani best, okay? The ability to kind of sing it and vocalize what you're going for. Okay, so let's check this thing out. Ooh, I just noticed one more thing on there. I circled it and wrote break. This is how they wrote, put a break between notes, unlike we now see it as an apostrophe, which is how we write dampenings too. Back in the day, that meant put a break there. So that's on the third line. Just make sure you catch that. You don't want your roll to go straight into the next roll. It has a slight hiccup between them, and then the new note starts. So let's go nice and slow, like 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Cool. And if I'm practicing on a keyboard at home, I would practice on a keyboard at home, getting these pitches stuck in my head. I would dampen the keyboard. I would reach down and dampen, just like I'm going to do on the drums. I might even use both hands and try to dampen as if the whole thing's ringing, even though it's not. Okay, so that'd be a good habit to get into right now while we're going slow. Let's go at that speed. Here we go. Beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1. Ready, and... Make sure when you're dampening, do not dampen early. Just because it says to dampen after it does not mean I'm going to dampen as soon as I can. You need to dampen on the beat where the rest is indicated. So at the beginning we went roll, tap, 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 touch. In time, not tap, touch, right? Tap, touch. Has to be in time. Cool. And then I forgot to talk about the key where the X equals, you just crossed your hands. So if you're on actual timpani, you'd go left, right, left, right, left. On the keyboard, you probably don't cross your hands. You probably move the hand out of the way. But on the actual drums, bum, 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 bum. So X above equals this arm is crossed over. Okay, whichever arm you see indicated is the one on top, reaching across, okay? Cool. Let's keep reading. Let's pick up where we left off. It's the second line, third measure. Here we go. Watch out for ties. Make sure you count the easy stuff carefully. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, say 2, 1, 2, 3, D, 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 break, C, bum, 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 D, bum, 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 ba, da, do, G, G, say, 3, let's investigate that measure or that rhythm at the beginning of the 4th line. It's written in an evil way. Anytime a composer puts a quarter note on a te equals our minds explode. We can no longer count things. Don't let that happen, okay? He's trying to freak you out. You can still definitely count your way through this rhythm, right? So we know that's down of my foot. We know that's up. It's an 1/8 note. It's a quarter note, so it gets 2 1/8 notes worth of time. So my foot went up and down. Oh, look, my foot's up and my foot's back down. There's my number 1. There's my 2. There's my 3. 1, te, 3. Good. I think it's a little bit easier when we see it written like this, because that's a age-old evil composer trick. Middle school baby, D page 28 is what it's on. I remember that page because everybody hates that page. And I dread teaching that page because it blows people's mind that a quarter note is not on a beat. Okay? That is a te still. So let's pick up right at the beginning of the 4th line. Te, 3, te, 3. If you make sure your voice goes down, te, with your foot, te, 3, te, 3. That will help you play that in time. We gonna keep reading on. We'll count accurately through our tuning. In your head, you are not tuning. You are just simply shifting that left hand up off of G, yes? Here we go. 4th line. 1, ready, and te, 3, te, 3. E, D. 1, 2, 3. You're tuning. 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. 1, te, 3, te, 1, 2, te, 3, te, 1, 2, te, 3, te, 1, te. That's a little tricky right there as well. Okay, 1, te. Yep, so think about where that release is. 1, te. I would probably draw an arrow up on that, thinking about my release is not on a downbeat. It is on a upbeat. Cool. Let's talk real fast about the end of that line. So this is line 5. And that last measure has a 3-stroke rough or a 3-stroke drag, whatever you want to call it. When you play a drag on timpani, you want to alternate. Okay, if you saw it on snare, you would probably not alternate unless you can't do the French rough correct, in which case you would probably alternate. But on timpani, we always alternate. So left, right, big-a-da-dum, big-a-da-dum. Let me hear that on keyboard. Big-a-da-dum, ready, and that is the idea. Coolio foolios. All right, everything else you run into looks like familiar rhythms. It's just work figuring out what are the notes that I should be hitting right now, okay? And then investigating your tuning changes. There is on the 4th line from the bottom, 4th line from the end, I should say it that way. 4th line from the end has a fermata that looks jacked up. I don't know why their fermatas need to be square-shaped instead of circular. That's still a fermata, so don't let that freak you out that it looks a little weird. It's those darn French. They do whatever they want with their notation. All right, happy practicing.